Hello, everybody. Welcome to Life Uncommon. My name is Andrea.
And I'm Alita Sharp, and we are excited to be with you all today. It's International Women's Day. So
happy Women's
Day.
Happy International Day, I was going to say.
Oh,
Women's Day.
Women's Day, yes.
Yeah. So I really like what I've been seeing on Facebook today of people choosing to spend this day recognizing women who have made an impact in their lives. And I thought that was pretty cool of highlighting those women. I'm like, if you can't do it every day, at least pick today.
Yeah, I thought that was great too. I've seen several posts where people chose, some of them chose a family member or someone that had inspired them. And it really was exciting to see some of those posts. Have you thought about somebody that...
I've been too busy. Happy Women's Day, ladies. Yes. That's from Let's.
Hi, Let's.
So I felt really honored that, to see a post from Let's today, tagging us in it. And when 2 years ago already, it's been that we launched Life Uncommon. So today is also our second anniversary as Life Uncommon. So we're excited too about that.
Yeah. And we were pretty intentional a couple of years ago when we decided to start on Women's Day.
Yes.
Because of the theme of our show and what we stand for, we really felt like it was important to begin on this day.
Yeah, exactly. And so here we are 2 years later, and who would have thought, right? that we would be in my dining room doing this. So lots of changes, but exciting change. And we'll talk a little bit about change too, because I think a lot of times we talk about change and wanting change, but we're not willing to embrace the newness or the difference that change brings. So we're looking forward to chatting with you all today. Looking forward to some feedback. So if you are watching, feel free to comment below. Give us a reaction. Say hi. Don't be shy. We would love to hear from you. So once again, we are celebrating two things. It's a double for us. International Women's Day, and also it's our second anniversary. So we wanted to do that. Now I'm gonna quickly share this. Did you share it?
I just did. That's what I was working on while I was looking down.
I'm a woman that should be able to multitask, but I don't multitask too well.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about this week, actually just the 6th of 2 days ago, was my grandmother's 99th birthday.
Ooh.
So, and she's been somebody that has really inspired me, with her life and with her legacy. She is such an incredible woman of God, and to know that she's still with us and guiding our family, she's the matriarch of our family, and it's just a blessing to still have her influence and her love and her prayers in our lives. And the last time we were together, she was just really joyful and excited, and she just kind of takes one day at a time, and when I asked her about living and what it takes to live such a long and healthy life, and she said, you just keep breathing.
Yep.
But she always encourages me and helps remind me that I'm still young.
Yeah.
In her eyes, I still am. She's 99 and she's still going. So I can keep on moving forward with my dreams and goals and aspirations as well.
Yeah. Just keep breathing, girl.
Just keep breathing.
Yeah. So, and I mean, doesn't Alita look lovely today? I mean, I feel like just like I have on a sweater side as she, and she came looking all lovely and like the first lady somewhere. So, yeah.
Thank you.
So, and I have to brag about her because when she gets the award, I'm going to be taking pictures with it. So, but she's been nominated for not 1 or 2, but 4. Where's my finger? She's been nominated for 4 awards, right?
Yes, with the Antigua Barbuda Gospel Music Awards.
Yeah. So you've been nominated for Best Reggae Song?
Yes, Best
I'm
Reggae
trying to
Song.
think. Songwriter.
Songwriter of the Year, female. International Psalmist of the Year, female, and Best Music Video.
There you go.
Which I'm real excited about with If You Love because that was such a special project that we worked on. You know, that one has a lot of special meaning for me, so I'm real excited about that. Yeah.
And the cool thing about this is that you can vote like every day.
Yes.
Okay, and as often as you want. Yes. So try to vote for Alida and also our very good friend Mervyn Boudron. He also got, I think, 3 nominations, right?
Yes, he is up for Best Soca, Soca Gospel, and then Best Director for the music video, If You Love Her, and also Songwriter of the Year, male. Yeah.
So vote for him and vote for Alida. We will post the links to where you can vote right on this same thread.
Yes.
So that you can get the opportunity to vote. And also the links are posted on Alida Sharp's page.
Yes, on the Alida Sharp page, and also the Roots and Honor page as well. They're there for both of us, for Mervyn and myself. Yeah.
And on Mervyn's page as well. So check them out and give them some votes. Let Belize bring it in, right?
Yes.
So, and then we can have an excuse to have a party.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, hi to all of you who are tuning in. Like we said, today is our 2nd anniversary as Life Uncommon, and also is International Women's Day. And I think it was your idea to launch on Women's Day. So we kind of waited until that day.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, we did, because normally we would have gotten started a little earlier in the year, but I kind of thought it would be special to choose this day.
I think it's so important, though, especially like we said, the way we wanted to go as Life Uncommon, empowering women and getting women to really step up and do great things, extraordinary things. Yeah. I think it is a good way. And so today we wanted to, talk a little bit about that. We wanted also to just touch on some recent events, because I think one of the hardest things to do a show, and I don't know how people do it every day, but for us, even doing a show once a week is hard to really carry on the way you would want to, because there's so much going on and so much wrong with the world and so much wrong right now with our country. And I think so much has happened since the last time we met and did a show.
Yeah. Really. I know that we mentioned last week about the little baby, the 17-month-old, and since then the child has passed away.
Yeah.
And so our sympathy and our condolences go out to the family. It's such a tragedy.
Yeah.
And I know that there are a lot of different groups and different people that are calling out for justice in that situation. And there's been so much violence.
Oh my!
It's just been unreal.
Yeah.
This little 4-year-old whose life was taken. It just blows me away. The level of violence. The just getting caught up in. We've got messages coming in. It's just so hard to watch. It's hard to hear about all these different things that are happening and still find a ray of hope in it all.
Yeah. So Honey Lee says, "Blessed Women's Day to you both and all other women." Thank you.
Thank you.
And the same to you. Yeah. But it is true. It's very hard. And I think social media is good and it's bad.
Yeah.
And I think the bad in it is that, people post a lot of stuff and it's hard to really sift through what's really right. Like what is true, what is true? Not a rumor or speculations or whatever. And it's also good for ton of other reasons. It gets information out there, and I think it has become a good way for people to see who these offenders are too, because before, I remember before there was TV or social media, you would hear the names of people getting arrested and charged or convicted, but you wouldn't see the face. You would only hear on the radio, but now you're seeing.
Yeah.
And of course, like the guy's lawyer in this case with the baby, he's saying he's innocent until proven guilty. And a lot of people have such a hard time with that, but it's true. We do have to go through the process, the legal process. And I think the frustration for me is that many times these people are guilty, but they end up walking.
Yeah.
Too many times. I think our conviction rate is 3% or something.
It's very low.
It's very low.
Very low.
And so so I can understand why, and I feel the same way. I'm very frustrated, because if that person is guilty, then what about until proven guilty or proven innocent or whatever? That doesn't really work anymore, it seems, because of I don't know what is going on. But I do remember listening to the DPP, and she was saying that, the prosecution is only as good as the investigation.
Right.
So I'm really hoping that the police and all those doing their investigations for this case and all the other cases where families are crying out for justice, they will do a good job, and that changes will be made or whatever needs to be put in place so that we can have a higher conviction rate.
Right.
We need that, and not only for baby Alyssa, but for the 4-year-old that was shot and killed, and for the man that was beaten to death, and the 12-year-old that was shot and killed, and all of these other lives that were taken from us. We do need to see a change in this country.
Yeah. A change in how things are investigated, and how follow-up is done, and how evidence is collected. I mean, it really does need on so many different levels to be worked out. And I know too that there are people that are frustrated and upset about the type of charges that were brought about in this one particular case. But from my understanding, they will only charge what they believe they can prove. So that also plays a part. They can't go beyond, like the DPP said. It's only as good as the investigation, so they can only charge what they can prove. So
there's a lot of things that needs to change. And one of the things, I was having a conversation with my very good friend Shireen, and she lives in the States now, but she was asking what was going on, and so I told, one of the comments that I made to her, I said, you know what, we are too divided still. And I feel, and there's a lot of things that needs to change. And two things I think I had mentioned to her, we're too divided. And also, if change should come, we also have to start training people, because to me, I feel, and this was in respect to children being abused. And I said, I feel like we also have to train more people, or people really need to start they need to know how to deal with the victims.
Yes.
Because I have heard and seen how children are being treated when they have to get examined or whatever. I always remember being at the hospital when they brought in this girl in front of everybody, and everybody knew she was either raped or molested or something, because she was escorted by two police officers, and I think a social worker. And just, I could hear the doctor scolding her. I could hear her screaming in the room. We were sitting in the waiting area. And I told her, I said, I feel like children are getting violated twice.
Yes.
In these instances. So we also have to push for change in that area, how we treat the victims and how we help them to try to piece together their lives after such a horrific ordeal.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is very traumatic for a child to have to go through that examination to determine whether or not that child's been carnally known, whether it's a male or a female. It's a very intrusive exam.
Yeah.
And it can be a re-traumatization of the victim. And I know that there has been some people that have been working on that. I know that there was an initiative that Miss Diana Shaw was
Yes,
working
I
on.
remember that. Yeah.
So I know that they are trying to make progress in that area with all of the stakeholders, with the police, with the social workers, with the nurses and the doctors and everybody that plays a part in that whole process.
Yeah.
And change takes time.
Yeah.
I think it's also about changing mindsets,
Yes.
and that can take a while.
Yeah.
Learning how to do what's called trauma-informed care. When you've got somebody that's experienced a trauma, there's a different way that you need to relate to that child or to that person, and in the case where you heard somebody being scolded, for being naturally afraid of this process that they've never been through before, that really is sad to me. And we do need to work on things like that.
Yeah. And I think as far too as in the maternal health care system, if we're advocating for women and changes, that's also another one of women who suffered a trauma as a child or maybe a teenager, or maybe they were raped and got pregnant and they decided to keep that baby. I think nurses and doctors, they also need to be trained to pick up signs or to be able to deal with women who are facing an ordeal like that. Because I have personally seen where women will flip out during the whole labor process because they cannot, it brings up memory of their trauma or whatever happened to them, and there's not much compassion there, and or they don't know how to deal with it. And so I think if we're going to advocate for change, it's across the board, because the children that we are advocating for now will grow up and become women. And so we can't just advocate for them now as children too, but we also have to make sure that they get the help that they need to be, how do you call it? When they're adults, they can try somehow to have a normal life and they have the support at every milestone in their lives or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it really takes having a holistic approach, because there's physical healing that needs to take place, but also emotional and spiritual healing that needs to take place. And we don't always take the whole person into consideration. So when somebody's going through a traumatic experience, I think giving birth can be
traumatic.
For some of us, it can be a traumatic experience. And so when you have to go through something like that, you need support, you need encouragement, you need people that are standing beside you or holding your hand or explaining every step of the process to you, so that you can go through it in a healthy way.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, so I wanted for us to shift a little bit too about, okay, so lately there's, I guess going back to my thing about social media being good or bad, but lately there's a lot of hashtags.
Yes.
Right now with International Women's Day, we've been seeing the press for progress. We see the hashtag of different activism, stop the violence, end domestic violence, all these different hashtags, or, even about be the change or something like that. But my issue with that, Alida, is that I think it just stays as a hashtag for many of us. And I don't want to match anybody's corn, but what was coming to me also, it is easy to create a Facebook group.
Yes.
And that's pretty much, it stays a group. But when it comes to take those people in that group and actually do something that will actually make a difference, that will bring about changes in our constitution, in whatever, there's not much support there. And I'm not bashing people who are creating groups and doing all these great things, because I have a group and I love my group. But I think we all need to take a look at, are we just giving the like or the love button? Are we just commenting, joining a group, doing the hashtags, and it makes us feel like we did something, but really, is it doing anything? Is it really bringing about the change that you want to see happen?
Yeah, that's a good point, because I did see, I think I was telling you about some young people that I was looking at their posts, and they were talking about this hashtag activism, where, you're just posting the hashtags and you think you've done a good job with that. But what do we do beyond that? And I think it's important for us to take action. I was listening to the special envoy this morning, and she did a video about International Women's Day, and she talked about how here in Belize, it's the Press for Progress is one of the things, but also nurturing the next generation. But how do we do that? How do we make sure that happens? How does each one of us do our part, and knowing what we can do, knowing what we should do. I think it's great to see people starting groups, but where does it go beyond that? Does it turn into a face-to-face group where you're actually having meetings, or going out and teaching people, doing sensitizations on different subjects? What does it actually turn into? Getting involved in your community, maybe at your church or where you work, starting a group there. What does it actually turn into?
I think we live too much of our lives online and not offline. What was it that I told you, that there's too much awareness and not enough action? So hashtag that one.
Yeah, too much awareness and no action. I wrote that down yesterday.
Hashtag. So ladies, I know we have some of you watching right now. I would love to hear, both of us would love to hear some of your thoughts about what we're talking about today. We love and appreciate when you add to the discussion. So if you have any thoughts or any comment that you would like to make about what we're talking about today, feel free to leave us a comment. We would love to hear what your thoughts are. So we do have a long way to go, I believe, but we should not let that be something that hinders us or slow us down from really doing what needs to be done. And like we were saying earlier, change is a word that is used a lot. We want change, we demand change, change must come. But are we willing to pay the sacrifice for the change that the change that will come about? Like even for us, when we decided to just come on Facebook, just Facebook Live, doing Facebook Live, that was a big change for us.
Right.
So we could have said, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to wait until we can figure things out or whatever. But we decided to start where we were with what we had. And so we're borrowing Tom's computer. We are making use of what we have. And going forward, doing what we are called to do. And so what about you ladies? What are some of the changes that you desperately long for? And what are you willing to do to bring that about?
Those are good questions. Really good questions. And I know we've got some people watching. So like Andrea asked earlier for your feedback, we'd love to hear what you have to say, what you're thinking, what's on your mind. There is so much going on, and each one of us has a different idea about how to move forward or what can be done. And I think it takes all of us, working together and bouncing ideas off of one another so that we can move forward and make our neighborhoods, our cities, our villages, our country a safer place to be for everybody.
Definitely. And I think we have to look at International Women's Day as a day where it doesn't just become a day, but it becomes more of a movement or something.
Yeah.
I was talking to a friend today, and she reminded me, she said, for today is International Women's Day. We should be celebrating a lot of things, but she said in light of the recent election that was held yesterday, how many women mayoral candidates were there? Yeah. How many women got elected? And she said, so we still have a long way to go when it comes to that. And I fully agree with her. And she was talking about how for a woman it's so much harder or difficult to run for a political office because that is still seen as a man's world. Yeah. And she talked about how a man could run for government and still win, even if he has sweethearts all over the place, doing all kinds of stuff, but it's a man, so it's okay.
Right.
And a woman can run, and people will not vote for a woman if they don't like her for some reason or the other. Right. But a man can get off with whatever.
Yeah.
And so it was an eye opener for me, because I would never go into politics. That's not my thing. I know what my calling is. But for those who go in, it is an uphill battle. It is, they have to keep constantly fighting, I think, to prove themselves. So yes, we're celebrating women, and she was saying that women are the same ones who will deal more harshly with another woman.
That's true. That's true.
They would with a man.
Yeah.
And I felt like that is something right there to look at. Women, are we really supporting each other? We're saying Happy Women's Day, but are we really supporting each other as women?
Yeah. I don't think you can emphasize enough the need for us to support, to encourage, to lift up, to challenge one another to be the best that we can possibly be, and to do what each of us know that we can do to help make our little part of the world a better place. And to tear one another down, it's never helpful. But yet that seems to be the first thing that people think of. And we need to try to do whatever we can do to make a change with that. When you see somebody out there that's trying to make a difference, instead of criticizing, what can you say to encourage that person? What can you say to help, to come alongside and support that person? And, maybe we would see more women in politics if they felt like the environment was one that would be supportive for them.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how trying to break through that male club really is, because it's so male dominated all around the country. But yet women are at least half of this country, so we do need to have a voice.
Yeah. And we need to use it.
Yeah.
We do need to use it. I shared today on our Facebook page a quote from Malala. I think that's her. That's how you say her name. And she says, "Do not wait for someone else to come and speak to you and speak for you. It's you who can change the world." She's young.
Yes, she is. She's still a teenager, I believe.
And she has a wealth of information. So, and knowledge, I mean. So, so what are we willing to do, ladies, to be the change that we want to see? How can we start supporting each other? I feel like one of the things I've noticed on Facebook too is how quickly we bring down other women. If they are not saying something that we necessarily agree with, or maybe it's different from what we hold dear, we cut that person down really quickly, sometimes viciously on social media. And these are interactions between women. So Honey Lee was saying, so true. I think people have so much ideas, so much of the solutions that can be applicable to help many others in our homes, communities, etc. We tend to still look at much of the odds before the positive changes they will bring about. But we need to take those ideas and make them a reality. As you said, start where we are with what we have.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. So we need to. Women have a lot of ideas. Women can make a big difference, and working together with the men, we can do even more. Because that's the other thing too. I love International Women's Day, and I love celebrating women. However, I feel like sometimes we get too extreme, and we want to be a women's only world and castrate all the men. And I'm like, no, I think there needs to be a healthy balance.
Definitely. Definitely. There always needs to be a healthy balance, because it takes all of us working together. Men have ideas, men have different gifts and talents than women do. And I think that when we can come together and work things through, that's when we're going to see some real lasting changes.
Yeah.
Even thinking about like with some of the things that have happened lately, one of the issues that came up regarding the baby was about childcare, about women having access to childcare, especially for those women that are working outside of like regular business hours and finding somebody to take care of their children. I know that's always been a big issue. That will always be an issue for women, making sure that we have somebody that we can trust to be with our kids, and to cut down another woman for the choice that she made with her childcare decision. It doesn't help with building one another up. Are we willing to babysit? Are we willing to make ourselves available? If that's my family member, am I going to be there for that person? So what can you do? What can you do to make a difference in somebody else's life?
If you're just tuning in, we would love to hear from you. We would love to hear your comments on what we've been discussing. So feel free to leave a comment below on how you can make a change, or what changes you would like to see happen, and what you're willing to do. I wanted to touch too on that, because that is something that I have seen where these ladies want to work. They want to be able to support their children, single mothers especially, but childcare is really expensive.
It is.
And sometimes they don't have anybody to take care of their child, just to even go to an interview.
Right.
There's hardly any support. And so instead there's a system that has been created, I feel like, where it's a handout thing. You stay a single mom, unemployed single mom, and then, the minister might put you on the food pantry list or whatever, and we become accustomed to that instead of empowering these women, helping them with affordable, safe childcare, and if they choose to want to get a job, to make that possible or easier for them, and if they choose to stay at home, still empower them how they can sustain themselves from at home. I chose to stay at home, but I am constantly looking and doing different things to help sustain my choice to stay at home. So we need to look at these things too, to empower women in all areas. And I would love to see something change where single moms who are desperate for a job can find affordable childcare, and a place where they won't be worried about their child getting abused or hurt.
Right. Yeah, safe, affordable childcare is a big issue. I mean, even back when, I needed childcare for, my own children. I actually spent 7 years, owning a daycare of my own. I opened up my home, and I did daycare because I saw the friends of mine that were struggling, and it was helpful to me to be able to stay home with my own children. To provide a home, an environment for others. And there were evenings when I did those late night childcare, times when I had to, if a mom had to stay at work late, or if if she had to work, an extra shift or whatever, making sure that my home stayed open and available. And it's not easy. It's not easy on the childcare worker. It's not easy on the kids. It's not easy on anybody. But those are things that we always have to take into consideration.
Yep. It's not International Women's Day. It's a woman. So we need to help out each other. We need to support each other. If a leader chooses to go and march and protest, and I choose to battle it out on social media, I don't need to cut her down because she chose to do that.
Right.
Everybody expresses their discontent in different ways. Yes, you will have a large amount of people that will take to the streets, and then you will have those who will choose to do it in other ways. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it is when we stop trying to force women to fit into our mold or our idea of how they should be or how they should react to what's happening in our country or how things are, then I feel like we're going to be bridging that divide.
Yeah, so that's really key. That when we stop trying to decide for somebody else how they should react, we really need to work on that, ladies. We really need to work on that. Because each one of us, based on our own perception, based on our own experiences with life and the way we think and the way we've been raised or the education that we have or the type of work that we do, it makes us think differently about a specific issue. So for me to tell you how you need to handle this, I mean, to me, that crosses boundaries, that crosses a line, where I've lost respect for you as a person if I think I know better how you should live than you do.
Exactly. It made me think of, when I got married to my husband. He's very low key, very calm, very introverted. I'm extra everything. And I remember so excited about getting engaged and even getting married. And I remember walking down the aisle and his face was just like regular. And I was like, aren't you excited? And even going up to the, leading up to the days of the wedding, I was just bursting with excitement. I'm like, you don't look excited. What's going on? And he was like, I never show excitement. It's just
he's always so calm.
He's very calm. He's like, I don't really show excitement. He's like, I don't, but I am excited. I can't wait to marry you. And so he had to, keep telling me. I said, well, you better tell me something because I'm not seeing it on your face. But so when I was saying, it made me think of that. So there are people like my husband who will seem unmoved, but maybe that it bothers that person so deep, it hurt that person, or they are thinking in their heads, okay, how can I deal with this? What will be my response to this? And so just because not everybody shows it on the outside like us doesn't mean that people aren't concerned or thinking about what's going on in this beloved country of ours, Belize. So my heart aches for this country and all that's been happening. And I do hope that people will start to, be willing to step up. And stop allowing party colors or different prejudices to divide us. I think we really need to learn how to come together, link arms, and do what needs to be done to see the change that we want to take place. Or we'll be talking about it here next year too. Hashtag change, hashtag activism.
So. And Andrea, I'm just thinking about all the different issues and different things that are facing the country. And yesterday was a day when people were able to express themselves about that. And it was kind of interesting to watch as the voter turnout and hear all the different numbers And what does it take to get people excited? What does it take to get people motivated to move or to act? You know, if you've got an idea about that, let us know. You know, what does it take to get people to take action, you know, to go beyond a hashtag, to get out and vote, to make your voice heard, to be a part of the change instead of just talking about it. I mean, it's sometimes it's easy to talk about it.
Oh, it's easy for me to sit here and talk about it. I'm like, I know where I do nothing. You know, it's easy to do that. Yeah. So, okay, now I think we're going to switch gears because we're wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
But I think we mentioned this at the very beginning too, of women on sharing on Facebook about other women that have impacted them over the years, or somebody that they look up to. And I would love to hear from our viewers. Tell us who are some of those women that you would like to honor or highlight on International Women's Day. Who are those ladies that you admire, and why do you admire them? We would love to hear that, because I love that idea of us, you know, giving honor where it is due, and recognizing that there's a ton of women who are working silently, really, most of them behind the scenes, doing great and amazing things, but they're not doing it for the spotlight or for fame, but they're making it happen. For example, there's Miss Diana Shaw with CDF. That woman has done so much for this country in pushing lots of different things to help women and children. But you don't hear of her a lot. She's not there up in your face doing things to get attention. But she knows her calling and she's doing that. And then you have regular women who are, I was thinking of someone who inspired me today, and my friend from childhood, Garnetta. I was thinking about her as a single mom and all of the challenges that she has gone through in life. And just the other day, she posted about her son graduating, and he has his license as an electrician, I believe. And he did so well in the course. And, you know, she is bragging about her children, and, you know, they're all doing well. And I was very proud. I am very proud of her, because she could have been one of those women who would say, just let me lie down and die. But she chose to fight and to give her children a good future, a good life. And so it's women like that. You could be a Diana Shaw, or you could be a Garnetta. But it is what we said, is where you are. What will you do with where you are?
Yeah. I was thinking as you were talking about a couple of young women that I admire that have really tried to step out and make a difference in the lives of other young women. I was thinking about Verly Lamb and Tamara Trapp with their Girls Connect group that they have, and they've every year, I think they've done a young ladies retreat, and they've worked really hard to try to mentor some young women that are in their sphere of influence. You know, so whatever it is that you have, whatever it is that you're able to do, even if you're just one or two steps ahead of somebody else, you know, you can help bring them along as well. And it doesn't matter how old you are, you know, whether you're in your 20s or in your 90s, like my grandmother. You know, there's always something that we as women can do to help another woman along the way, and to help build our community, to help build our neighborhood, our country, so that it can be a safe, healthy place for everybody.
We need to move past the hashtag stage, ladies. And I love hashtags, I'm just saying, but I'm not, so I don't want you guys to think I'm saying don't use hashtags. But we do need to move past that, and we need to start looking at how we can translate that into some action, even if this is helping somebody with a meal. It's small things, you know.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that you have to run for a political office or to work for a nonprofit or an NGO. It's the little things. So I think we need to be more aware of what's going on around us. And women, we need to stop being afraid of being more, how would I say, transparent in a sense. Like if you know you're struggling, I mean, there must be 1, 2 people in your life that you can say, man, I'm really struggling and I need some help. Sometimes women just need somebody to talk to, somebody to listen.
That's true.
So, yeah, you don't know me that the talker, I lead a listener. So, she a listen. So sometimes it's simple little things.
Simple little things like that. Listening, baking bread for somebody, you know, cooking a meal for a child that's hungry. There are so many things that you can do that that don't take a lot of effort, that just take some thought, you know, and the willingness to get out there and do something for somebody else, to make somebody else's life a better place. Oh, this is my brother. John Wright says, the women in my life, grandma, mother, wife, and sister. Thank you,
Aww.
big brother. Yeah.
Yeah, and your big sister is about to win some awards,
little
John.
Sister.
Oh, yeah, it's a little. Oh, he didn't put.
He didn't put, but he's my oldest brother, yeah.
She wants to know you're old, John, and she's young. Yeah, if it was the other way around, I'm sure you wouldn't have been insisting that he's a big brother. So, but yeah, it's the little things. And so one of the things that we said a lot more, I think, back when we started Life Uncommon was, what are the giftings and talents that God has given to you, and are you using those? So I think we need to remind you all, you do have something, some gift, some talent that you can use.
Definitely.
So John says it's in the family.
Yes. We're all young.
Oh, well, my maiden name is Young. So. Yeah, I'm forever young too.
You know, but yeah, you're right. There's always something that we can do to help somebody else. There's always a way to reach out. We all have so many gifts inside of us that sometimes we don't even use all of the gifts that we have access to, all of the experiences that we've had, things that we can help somebody else with, you know. Like Andrea said, you know, it takes those of us being transparent when we have a need to make those needs known so that people can help us out. And it takes those of us that have the ability to help to get up and actually do something to help the person that's in need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I noticed too that one of my friends posted, I think the other night, Crystal, and she was saying that, you know, they're offering free counseling. She's working with a bunch of ladies, and they're offering free counseling to anybody that needs somebody to talk to. And I was like, you go, girl. And so we need more people who have giftings, talents, degrees, experience in different areas to start using those things, because when we don't use them, the world is lacking in what we could be offering. Remember in our book that we talked about, The Dream of You, we spoke about how we join God in what he's doing in the world when we use our giftings and our talents. So are you going to join God in what he's doing here in Belize? Are you going to step up in whatever way? And maybe some of you are already doing that. You're already serving in your community, or maybe you're just being a great mom and raising your children up in the right way, because that is also a very important area. Huge.
That's huge. That the impacting the next generation is a huge thing. And I know I see that we have Bethany's watching, and I know she's home with her little ones as well. And that is a huge responsibility, taking care of kids. So please do that to the best of your ability every single day.
Yes.
And I know it can be tiring. I know it can feel like, nobody ever thanks you or appreciates what you do.
Job.
But you are making a difference, not just in your own family, but in the country as well.
Mm-hmm.
All of the women and men across this country that are taking care of their children are making a difference.
Yeah. I see Ashley joined in as well. Hi, Ashley. Nice to see you. We all can work together to bring about the change that we need to see happen. And it starts with the little things. Raise our children to be kind and compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many bullies and mean kids all over the place. Mm-hmm. It just always blows my mind because I'm like very old fashioned, I think, because I think about when I was growing up, I was not allowed to talk back to elders and cuss and do all these things that you hear these little kids doing nowadays. And I'm like, what? I'm always shocked. So we can make a difference raising our children. And even if you're a full-time mom, even if working full-time and you have children, you can still, it is your responsibility actually to raise fine citizens, to raise up upstanding young men and women. And if you need help, ask for it. It doesn't mean that you're less of a mom.
Right.
But we do have to remember what they said about it takes a village to raise a child.
Definitely.
And we need to find our village.
Yeah. So I think Ashley.
Yeah, she said, happy Women's Day to you beautiful ladies. Hi, Ashley.
Hi, Ashley.
Yeah. Ashley is an amazing makeup. Is it artist you say, Ashley? I don't want to offend you by using the wrong terminology. She can make anything look good with makeup. So, yeah. So she's using that to, that's her thing that she's using to help women to gain that self-confidence and stuff. And I know some people have mixed feelings about makeup, but seriously, if you can put makeup on somebody and that person smiles for the first time in a long time, they feel beautiful for maybe for the first time, you go, girlfriend. So add a hint. I need to feel beautiful, Ashley. I need a little makeup. So ladies and gentlemen, we are so thankful for all of you who are tuning in, who are commenting. We want to hear from you. We want your input and your support as we go along. Yeah. Today is our
2-year anniversary.
I was about to say first year.
2 years. Yes, we started in 2016.
You remember that?
On this journey? Yes, I do. We had an information meeting that night or support, just letting people know what we were going to be doing. Yeah, look at your hair.
Yeah. And then this was when we started to promote it.
Promoting the show.
That was our first show.
Yes. Oh, gosh. We look so young. Well, you do anyway.
I remember this.
Oh,
I had the worst hair day because I had rolled my hair, and it doesn't show it. It turned out fine, but
it does. It looks great.
Okay, right. I just need to take this off.
Okay.
Off you go. Yes, there we are. So, but I was going to say, I had a horrible hair day. I rolled my hair, and it didn't dry in time. So when I took out my rollers, my hair was just damp and there was no curls, and I was devastated.
Oh, yes.
And I was like, what am I gonna do? So I ended up just putting all of my hair to the side, and it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But your hair gets longer and mine gets shorter, I noticed.
So yeah, Ashley said I was there. Me and Letty, 2 years already. Yes, it's been 2 years. That's where we first met you, I think, Ashley, at that pre-launch.
Yes, that night. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And I see Mel is on. Mel Castillo is tuning into, and she's been a loyal viewer as well.
Great.
So thank you all. We really appreciate it. Miss Delisle, I see Miss Delisle is tuning in as well. She's also another loyal fan of ours. So we really appreciate all of you who give us well, we take up too much of your time on Facebook, but we appreciate the time that you take out to, let me see. We had Florette Castro and Jomi and Griselli in April and Lex. So
yeah.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Yeah. Well, I think we kind of have to go.
Yeah, we're about out of time already. So thank you so much for being with us, and we really appreciate all the feedback, all the comments. You know, if you're watching this later, please do go ahead and make a comment and let us know who are the women that have impacted you, who are the women that have inspired you. Yeah. And if there are things that you're thinking of that you know could make a difference, write those things down. Leave us your comments. We always appreciate hearing from you.
And if there's any topics that you would like for us to talk about, let us know. And, you know, we would like to hear that too. And we had hinted last week that we were going to talk about comparison.
Yeah.
The trap or the dangers of comparison. But we forgot that it was going to be our anniversary.
Right, and Women's
Day. So we're going to talk about that. Maybe next week we could pick that up and continue our discussion. Yeah. So until then, everybody take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. And be sure to let the women that you appreciate and love know that you do. Celebrate those women today.
Yes. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.